Welcome back, Sims Complete fans. Alongside my co-host there, Phil Sims, straightening out his glasses there. He's not sure if it's left or it's right.
Yep.
He always
Gotta
gets confused with the camera here, but you look good, Phil. You're all straightened up, you're buttoned up, you're ready to go. And now we're
yeah, my head's crooked. That's why they're always off
yeah,
balance, but
that's
that's
we
okay.
can't dive into that. We need someone else to break that down for
Yeah.
us. But an exciting weekend with the NFL draft. A lot of good things I think took place for a lot of football teams. Of course, as usual, this time around, everybody won the NFL draft, right? Everybody did great. Everybody got the players exactly who
Oh.
they wanted. It worked out perfectly for them. There was no bad picks in the entire NFL draft, and only time will tell who actually profited from a few nights ago. But just your first initial reaction from the
No, they're
draft. What were some of the key things that obviously as a viewer and a fan, what did you enjoy about it the most?
well, I always love the draft. Just watching the excitement of it for the players, the moms and dads. I love
Yeah,
seeing all that reaction and emotion from everybody. Not only the ones that are at the draft, but some of the scenes where they're sitting in their
yeah,
TV room waiting. They're priceless. They're awesome, and it is a great moment to celebrate. And we see that was fun. But everything is not great. Well, and I'm not making fun of Mel
oh, here
Kiper.
we
This
go.
is just the way it is. Well, I'm a big board. I don't have him there, so it can't be good. So I mean,
Yeah,
God dang, I love him. I do. And I'll be honest. When the draft is
yeah.
going on and we're listening, I want to hear I want to hear more Mel Kiper. He's like cowbell. Give me more Mel. I'm serious. The way he
Yeah,
talks, the conviction, and the fact that he sits on that stage for 6, 7. I don't know how long how many hours they're on it.
yeah.
He never leaves it. So the guy has got some willpower, or I don't know. He didn't take a drink for 6 days, but but it's really good. And I'm serious. On Sunday, I got up and I went, "Wow, no draft, this and that."
Yeah.
I was disappointed. I really was. I love watching
Well,
it and just
yeah.
hearing about the players,
It
and
really is
it's
cool, and
cool.
nobody does their homework, as well as Mel Kiper in this business. I think he does a phenomenal job of just, his
Oh,
knowledge of every football player that is taken in the draft. Whether you agree with this opinion or not, it doesn't matter because you have to, kind of, tip your cap to the gentleman there
oh,
for just all the effort that he puts into it. He's a guy too that I think has been doing it very consistently for a long period of time without any bias, right? It's not like he's picking favorites to pick favorites. He really is, I think, genuine and authentic with his evaluation and the process. And but it is funny how just like yeah, on his big board, he's like, I had him at number 50 and they drafted him here. I don't agree. Don't agree. No, it's not me. It's just like, all right, man. Well, hey, like, make it work for me as to why it would be for this team, why they did,
well,
go or deviate away from whatever your big board said. But nonetheless, he still is
yeah,
super entertaining. And yeah, it really is
great.
great.
It's
And,
great.
and
It
you know what's
really is.
crazy though,
But
too? You
let
know,
let yeah,
here's the NFL draft. It's
what?
a bunch of guys sitting at a desk talking about draft picks. And, I was more tuned into that than the NBA playoffs. And it just shows you the power of the NFL right now and just how they've made
Yeah,
this
yeah.
draft more of a spectacle than it's ever been. Over 700,000 people attending it in Detroit, almost doubling what it was in Kansas City a year ago. So it's just tremendous what the NFL has built through this process.
Yeah, it's awesome. And the last thing is, and I know, I studied a bunch of
Yeah.
quarterbacks this offseason or so far. I did like a top five, just about every group. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love doing all this, but at times I go, I can't do any more today. I got to quit.
Yeah.
I've had to look at one more minute of a defensive back trying to figure out which one is he on the field. And I mean, in fact, I wish somebody could spotlight him on the field. So running back, which one is it? And finally, you see him make a turn. Oh, good.
You
There's
know
the
what?
8.
That
That's
that
him.
reminds me though
Number
too.
8.
Daniel Jeremiah on the NFL Network. First of all, Daniel Jeremiah, another guy who does a great job of the evaluation process. I thought Nick
Sure.
Saban too was phenomenal on the ABC broad. I
Oh,
was like,
oh,
get rid of everybody else. I just want Saban to talk the whole time because just his little notes, all that stuff are just the wealth of knowledge, his experience, the players. his excitement for guys that he played against, the self-deprecation versus the guys that
Right.
really tore their defense up. Like, I love that aspect. One of the greatest personalities. Can't wait to see him on TV more. But Daniel Jeremiah had one great line that I died laughing. It
Oh,
was
here.
somebody, I think maybe like a tackle from Cornell that got drafted earlier. I should have, looked into this more. But he's just like, hey, man, he looks good on film. And I got to tell you, he's playing against a lot of civilians, so he stands out real quick. And it was just like, as soon as he said it, I was like, yeah, there's a difference between civilians and
That's
NFL football players. And,
oh.
the whole crew got a kick out of it too. Even Rich Eisen was just like, civilians, huh? Yeah. So,
Oh, that's
yeah.
great. Hey, that's great. The other one, how about this one though? Bill Belichick. How much did you watch
Not
and
one
see?
second.
And
Not
I
one
went back, of
second.
course.
Except for the fact that he
Oh,
gave a
you
shout
missed a
out
treat.
to Bergen Catholic football, which made me throw up in my mouth a little bit. Of course, being me, a Don Bosco guy. But no, I'm kidding.
Wow.
I'm kidding.
What? Oh, okay. I was gonna say, what the hell did he say
Well,
about
he was
Berger
like, because
Catholic High
Bergen's
School?
playing
But
IMG
he
this
was
year, and he's like, you got to go to this game. And of course, all the Bergen Catholic accounts out there were retweeting it and sending it out there, so they were all excited about that.
oh, okay. Well, that'll be a game I'm
I know, me
interested in
too.
too. I'm sure that that'll be played really early, like maybe
I think
before
so.
even
Yeah, I
football
think
season
so.
gets
Yeah.
going. I'll just say this: Bergen Catholic, whatever you think, they're
Yeah,
better
that's
than
right.
you think. Not no,
I know.
I'm
I
talking about
know. Yeah.
IMG.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I mean, we got the star of stars down there. I've forgotten that JJ
Yeah.
McCarthy, because of
That's
COVID,
right.
went down there and played.
Yes.
So yeah, it's well, you and I went there. We've been there. It's an unbelievable facility, place, and of course, I understand why they have everything they do down there is
Yeah.
special,
No, it
sports
is.
wise. That's for sure,
No, they
and
do.
education
They
too.
do it all. They
Great
do it all. But what
education.
were you going to say about Bill Belichick? I want to hear your notes on him.
Oh, just his I don't know, I'd watch it just him. I know
Yeah.
him, I was with him from 79 all the way through
Wow.
1990, and just his how he can just oh, that's a good player? Just whatever it is, just the so condescending. Look at his
Yeah.
footwork. I mean, come on. Just, everything about him. I always got a great kick out of him. He was coaching with the Giants, and of course, we've said this many times. I did roughly 85, 90 games of the Patriots in my announcing career. So that was 85 to 90 sweating meetings
Right.
with Bill Belichick. And I know what you say. Why you mean sweating? Because I always studied hard going into games. But when I knew I had a New England game, man, you
Right.
better be buttoned up. And if you ask him a question and and if it's the wrong question or you don't know the answer to something,
Yeah.
look out. I said something to him once. I love the way you played the 4 defensive linemen. This, then he goes, we didn't play 4 defensive linemen last week. And I go, well, yeah. And he goes, we didn't play 4 defensive. And I'm sweating now, like, oh my God. And I said, I watched the film. So I
Yeah.
bolted up. I got tough. I watched it. You had 4 defensive linemen in there or something. He goes, I think you're right. We did have 3 or 4 plays where I had to put them. And
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
whoo!
Survive. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
oh my God. And I'm just being honest. I did more work for that because of
Right.
the fear that I would say something wrong or ask a stupid question, which is easy to do in those meetings. And so that was great. And then, I know a few announcers went in there and the old saying peed down their leg or
Yeah.
whatever it is. And good luck going up
Yeah,
there
that's right.
again if you do that, because he's going to say
As
not
Coach
much to
Soul
you.
once
So
said, hey,
it's
hey, you're pissing in the wind, okay, Sims? All right. So, a few of
yeah,
those I'm sure that
yeah,
Belichick,
yeah.
he took care of. But all right, let's
Oh,
let's get into it though. Let's get
let's
into it.
go.
I'm excited to talk about this
Yeah,
with you. We're gonna do just the review of the quarterbacks that were drafted in this first round, really
right,
primarily. We'll sprinkle in a few of the other later round picks that we got, especially too for New
right,
England's purposes and what they did in the beginning at the end of the draft, which we found very interesting. But we're just going to go
right.
pick by pick through this first round, and we're going to start it off. Chicago Bears. They got their guy Caleb Williams. No shocker. Everyone knew this. Everyone was expecting this to happen. But how excited were you, though, that they were able to pair Caleb Williams with Rome Odunze later on in that draft?
Oh,
Yeah.
I loved it. I love all those things that happen. And it's just another little thing I think that's in favor of the Bears and for Caleb Williams. I had somebody I talked to today who follows it and goes, what do you think about Caleb? And I could tell. I said, I'm taking the tone that you don't like him that much and you think he's been overrated. And I just got to tell you, I think he's spectacular. Charlie Jones there.
Spectacular. Yeah.
Spectacular. There I am at sunny San Diego. Check it. I'm in Los Angeles. I
Yeah.
love those Charlie Jones. He was when I was growing up, he was doing those late games
Yeah.
on the West Coast. So I always got him. But Caleb Williams, so many things to like. And really, I have a hard time finding anything I
Right.
don't like about him. I think he's big, physical, can run, sees it, goes through progressions. He's accurate as hell. He throws a great looking football that's easy to catch. And as I was looking at it, and I kind of was watching something today, and I said, you know what? It's see him do. He runs with the ball in one hand
Right.
a lot, and it's because he's looking to throw. He's always looking to throw. You have to
Right.
force him to run, and he has that ball in one hand, and then he's just so dynamic with it that way. It kind of frees him up, and he throws rifle shots on the run, one hand on the ball, people chasing him, and it's so impressive. So look, I have no doubts about Caleb Williams. I think all the interviews and watching him on draft night and everything he's done, it just gives me more
Yeah, it
positive
definitely
feelings
does.
about
And
it.
I think it keeps Chicago now on pace with the rest of the division because Detroit got better, Minnesota got better. We know that the Packers are not going anywhere with what they did the past year, and Jordan Love and LaFleur kind of finding their own, voice outside of the Aaron Rodgers era. And I think the Bears
Right.
are not as far away as some people think. I think their defense is a little bit better. That was the one thing that Kiper kind of went to multiple times throughout the draft regarding the Bears was just the fact that he wanted to see a premier pass rusher added opposite of Montez Sweat. That being said, shit, if you score 28, you score 31 points, who cares about the pass rusher, man? If you're putting points on the board, if you're a high flying offense, hey, go win some shootouts. And I think that Caleb, with his experience, with his athleticism, is going to do extremely. It's going to translate extremely well to the NFL. He is going to be, like we've discussed in past shows, one of the best throwers in the NFL as soon as he steps onto a football field. His physical presence, to me, is something that people do not give enough credit for. His athleticism, for sure. And the cool thing is that despite what people say, because he paints his nails, he's a great leader. He is a great motivator. Guys love playing for him. And I think he is really going to, turn some heads very quickly at those Chicago Bears practices when he starts to get on the field and gets motivated and gets going. Because I just think it's just natural in him. The dude was meant to be a quarterback. He's been put on earth to throw that damn pigskin. And I'm excited for the Bears, man, because I think they're, keeping pace with now one of the better divisions in the NFL. Oh, look at that. We switched over to believe in Bears all of a sudden. Who the hell
Believe in the
did
Bears.
that?
Yeah, it's good. It's it's me. I got a little thing. No, never mind. But the one thing. So you talk about Caleb Williams and everything that's gone in Chicago, and they've been such a talking. Hell, they're almost like the Dallas Cowboys. It's every day on all the TV stations. That's or when I watch it. But Caleb Williams, and you're right. First, it was guys had tattoos. We don't want that. And now we're going to talk about painting your fingernails. I mean, none of that bothers me at all. That's for sure. But they're going to be on national TV. I would think maybe not the max amount of times, but they're going to be out there a lot because the intrigue on him, what's gone on in Chicago, and is this going to be finally the time that we can see him start to turn things around and be a force in the NFL and a team that, becomes a national team? They're in a big city and it can happen easily, especially when you have a superstar quarterback.
And it's been a long time since the Bears have been relevant. I mean, we're going back all the way, I feel like, to the Rex Grossman era when they went to the Super Bowl, and the Devin Hester unbelievable returning and skill set, all that he brought to the table too. And I got to see some of that in person, which was great too. You actually did that Super Bowl versus Peyton Manning in the Indianapolis Colts. But I think Rome Odunze is a phenomenal add too because of just his size, his versatility. I think he is great in motion, off the ball, can play inside, can play outside. Great red zone matchup for him. the 50-50 footballs to me are, I think, what is really going to be the added benefit for a guy like Caleb Williams to know that even when Rome is covered, he's still open, as Parcells used to tell you with Bavaro.
Yeah,
You know,
okay.
it's just that, like, hey, just give him an
Yeah.
opportunity. Our guy's going to go and get it. He had a contested catch rate, like 30 points higher than the next guy that was coming out of this draft class. So
Yeah, it
I'm
was
really
awesome.
excited for the
It was
Bears
awesome.
and really look forward to seeing them. And you're right, I'm tuning in. So whether or not I'm watching,
Oh,
unfortunately,
yeah.
yeah, go
My
ahead.
last thing about him, the Bears, is just this: Rome Odunze. Oh my God! When I saw him on stage and standing around some other people, I went,
Yeah.
"What the hell?" I mean, he is a big
Yes.
dude, and so this is all in
Right.
one wide receiver. You know what I mean? He's got all that: route running, tough, break tackles, big plays, and contested catches. And it's talked about a lot on TV. But
Yeah.
listen, it's real. I mean, now I see high school quarterbacks. We go to games on Friday night. I do, and they're throwing back shoulder passes.
Yeah.
You're like, going, wow, back shoulder passes. So it is such a big part of every offense, and especially in the NFL, because who you're going against is so talented too. And
Yeah. He's a
yeah,
great fit.
so him and Caleb Williams is a extremely good
Yep.
back
And we
shoulder
know
thrower too. So he's
we
done it a
know
lot.
Rome. We know
Yeah,
Rome is
go ahead.
a weatherproof type of player too, coming from Washington, and his skill set will fit
Yeah.
very well into Chicago, and that team going forward.